Incels? Reddit? 4chan? I think it's largely a them problem, would be my guess.
Reddit? 4chan? Are you just spitting out websites? Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ashley from The Dating Doc, your source for everything dating related. In our search for content on this channel and this brand, we came across this video. Women react to the rise of lonely, single, and sexless men. Now, I'm going to be reacting to this video in real time, but first, make sure you like our video and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy this type of content. Now, let's go ahead and roll the intro clip for context.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about the rise of lonely single men and the rise of sexless men. But instead of just me talking about it, since I've already covered this pretty in-depth on my channel, I wanted to bring other girls on and get their opinion, what they think's going on, if they think women play any type of role in this. So I'm sitting down with 7 girls today, and we're going to be talking all about it. Let's get into it.
So that's the gist of it. And now here's The Dating Doc women react to the rise of lonely, single, and sexless men.
So studies are showing that there's a decrease in men having sex. So a third of men under the age of 30 are sexless. And there's also a rise in lonely single men. If you had to guess, why do you think this is the case?
I think dating is a lot different than it was back then, especially with social media and everything that's going on. I think men also these days too are sometimes more afraid to talk to women than they used to, I guess. But I don't know. I was just talking to a friend about this. I think just dating in general has completely shifted. It's harder now. It's a lot harder to have genuine connections or even people you want to hook up with, like with Tinder and Bumble and all that stuff. So that would be my answer.
I really think it's because women stopped caring about douchebags. I know that's not the best word to use, but guys that don't put in effort and don't care and don't want to actually value women for who they are gonna be lonely, because women are becoming a lot more independent and they're becoming a lot more confident in being themselves, that they don't need no man. So I find that rise probably comes from those guys that don't want to put in that extra effort and actually put their pride aside and make a woman feel loved.
So we're assuming all lonely, sexless men are douchebags. The kinds of men categorized this way have existed as long as human history has, so why would women suddenly now have an issue with them? In reality, women seem to be more attracted to men that are confident, which often correlates with being a douchebag.
I feel like a lot of it might have to do with maybe like working remote, since we're all so I feel like I'm at home a lot more than like I ever was before, and like since I work remote personally, like not going out and meeting as many people like through like work friends or like going out as much, I feel like people just aren't interacting as much as like they used to be on the day-to-day, like physically. People are just like messaging on Snapchat and Instagram.
So less like in-person human interaction, and everything's kind of moving towards being online.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then I also feel like women are just being more selective over like how they want to be treated, and how like with social media, I feel like it's so easy to compare like what other relationships, like what they're doing, like what kind of experiences like a couple's going through, like, oh, they're on this nice like luxurious vacation, and like this man doesn't want to like take me on that, so like screw him or something in a way.
So first and foremost, I would say pornography has something to do with it, just because it's so easily accessible that men don't really have to like put in the effort to go out and seek a mate when they can just like do it at the comfort of their space.
No man chooses porn over sex. Men and women seek porn as an outlet when having sex is already unattainable for them, or when it's momentarily inconvenient.
Incels? Reddit? 4chan? I think it's largely a them problem, would be my guess.
Reddit? 4chan? Are you just spitting out websites? Nothing is really being said here. How are these websites producing lonely, sexless men? How many sexless men are actually on 4chan in 2022? That's such a niche thing, and it's not even more prevalent now than it was before.
I think, I don't know, I feel like one post-pandemic, people don't like interact with each other as much. This is kind of off topic, but like when I used to walk down the street, I would always be like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Or like, hello to people, you know, and just like talk to people. And I feel like now that's not really happening. I think people are more drawn into themselves. And I don't know why it's still like that. I think the internet too, obviously there's a community for this. I feel like people are kind of getting more hateful. I don't know. It's just, things are changing. I think people need to open up more. If it's a choice, that's fine. I don't think everyone needs to have a super high sex drive. I personally don't have a super high sex drive, so if someone's not super sexually active, does not matter to me at all. But it's hard. Is it by choice? Is that what we're speaking of, or just?
So I think a lot of it is by choice. I can just give you some other reasons why. Social media definitely is one of them, I think. Porn, I think, is also one of them. Young marriage on the decline. People are waiting until they're a little bit older to get married. Also, what you said about interacting with people on the street, I think a lot of men are becoming hesitant and scared to approach women just in general. You know, you see all these videos online of women posting when men say hi to them and they're repulsed by it, or they get really upset. Like at the gym, if a guy approaches a girl at the gym, they get really upset. So I think there's a lot of things that are tying into this, but it's interesting to hear like from someone on the outside that isn't so like doing this for work, like why you would think that this is happening.
I feel like the internet also gives people unattainable ideas. And I wonder if these statistics are coming out just because more people are saying that they are not sexually active because of the internet. Like, I wonder if it's always been like this, but now people are really banding together and being like, yeah. Obviously, we're living in a time as well where you don't have to get married and have kids by the time you're 24. So that's off. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Well, I think there's a rise in celibacy among women that I've noticed on social media. So I think that would relate to why more men are going sexless. And then also people are just becoming more comfortable with being alone, probably because of the pandemic, which isn't a bad thing. But I mean, human connection is also a good thing. In terms of loneliness, I don't know, maybe we're just like missing that connection that there once was, and there's so many more higher standards now for men and women and just relationships in general. And I think the factors just go like back and forth. So maybe a woman like has not been happy with how she's been treated, or doesn't feel empowered by hookup culture, so then she just becomes celibate. So then the man or men are experiencing like less sex in their lives, and then I don't know, it just keeps going like back and forth on the effect of one another.
Personally, I would say women have lower standards than if you would go back in time and look at how high the expectations were from men to provide for women and take care of women. I feel like feminism has brought women to a point where they're able to take care of themselves. So maybe it has something to do with women being self-sufficient and not needing a man in their life to provide for them, and therefore not having the need to have sexual relationships with men.
Women are more independent, therefore they lose the desire for sex with men. That doesn't make any sense.
Stop going to the bars every weekend, Friday to Sunday. It's unattractive when you're wasted with your buddies. And in this day and age, everybody thinks, the boys, let's get drunk, Sunday beers, Saturday beers. It's so not cute. So I don't know. Of course, going out is nice, but to be sitting in a bar all day, every day is just, it's a no-go for me.
So men shouldn't have fun? We don't always go to the bar for women. We go just to have fun. Women do too. She mentions going out is fun, but going to the bar all day, every day is unattractive. I don't know anyone who goes that often. Was that a contradiction or hyperbole when she had previously said Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Half of the video up to this point mentions isolation being a cause for loneliness, and now this girl is discouraging men from going out in a setting where they might meet women or simply have fun with their friends.
And then when you hear things come out like the rise of lonely men, well, just because someone's single doesn't mean they're lonely. But it's automatically kind of assumed that they are.
Yeah, I think a man not seeming too desperate or too clingy is a big thing. So like women always think they can change a man, but I think a man always thinks he can change a woman's mind. Like if she's giving you a lot of the signs that maybe she's not too interested, like just take the signs for as what they are. Or even if she's saying like, I don't feel romantic connection, but I'd like to still be friends, don't continue to be like, okay, yeah, I'll just be friends with you in hopes that she'll change her mind. Focus your energy on where it's best spent. Like, don't waste your time on women who don't fit your standards or aren't really the type you see yourself in a long-term relationship with. Spend that energy and time going for what you do want, and don't waste your time when you've been given the signal that she doesn't want you.
I actually agree with this. This is good advice. I know I've spent far too much time on women that didn't reciprocate my feelings. However, it would be easier if more women were upfront about not having romantic feelings or a connection. It seems that there are some women that appreciate the energy people put in and allow that to go on, even when they don't have a desire to put that same energy in.
Do you think that sometimes women have unrealistic standards for men?
Yeah, I'm sure. Definitely, like, there's probably some sort of, like, standard that women will have in their heads about how they want to be treated and stuff, and that might not always be realistic. But I definitely think it's a good thing. Like, it's beneficial that the standards are higher and, like, women aren't willing to settle, I guess.
I'm looking for a hardworking guy that's honest, loves his mom.
Loves his mom. This is funny because nearly every girl I've been with has a lot of issues with my mom. Loves his mom is such a strange qualifier. You don't know a guy's home life, situation, or relationship with his parents.
I've thought about this a lot. So I have a very specific list. Values like health and wellness. Is a life learner, has a life learner mentality, so likes to learn new things and experience new things, but also likes like a daily routine to keep them in check. So whether it's like working out, the gym, spending time with family, friends, loyalty. I feel like that's a bare minimum thing, but it needs said these days. I don't know. I think the life learner mentality is the biggest thing because that kind of like creeps into all aspects of life, like career, hobbies, skills, ambition.
Again, this girl actually has good things to say. I think the life learner mentality is such an important thing for men and women. Personal growth is so necessary to even be ready for the dating world.
Yeah, I think people always look baseline for looks, like you want to be attracted to someone. I have found being friends with someone first and then dating them has ended up in the best relationship I've ever been in, rather than just being like, oh, that person's hot. And then you ask all the other questions like, well, do we align morally, this, that, and you kind of find that out as you go. And I think the best way to go is really getting to know someone first. Obviously, you have to be attracted to them, but I feel like people see pictures or they'll watch TikToks and I don't know, see beautiful people and be like, I want that.
For some of the same reasons I agreed with an earlier statement, I don't agree that being friends first is always the best way to approach a relationship. Yes, of course, for something to happen naturally with someone you already know is ideal, but if you're not romantically interested to begin with, there's probably a reason for that on either side. Furthermore, you run the risk of putting in too much energy if you're cooperating with the message, be my friend first, and it's someone you're actually attracted to. Some of the best relationships are those where there's a magnetic attraction on both sides, and you both sort of just know where it's headed. Ultimately, it's healthy to communicate intention.
And then what do you think men are looking for in women?
I think it all comes down to just like looking for that connection. So I don't know, I've like read and heard things that like men want to feel wanted or needed, nurtured in a way. Like, I don't know, I feel like most men are just like big babies. Like, it's not as deep as we think it is. So they just want to feel like that connection with a woman and feel cared for, but maybe they get that feeling in different ways than women get from men.
Being easygoing. I don't think guys like pressure also from girls. Like, I think guys really want to be the one kind of leading the whole relationship. So if a girl's giving too much, they get scared off at first. So yeah, I think that's a big one as well. I think eagerness kind of turns guys off.
I wholeheartedly disagree. I can't speak for all men, but if a woman wanted to lead the relationship, I would 100% be comfortable with it. Perceived eagerness is actually generally part of what attracts me to someone. While there is such a thing as appearing too desperate, most of the time I feel like I'm fighting an upward battle trying to keep a girl's interest.
All right, guys, that is all I have for this video. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, let us know by liking and subscribing. You can also check out our Instagram for more dating advice, news, and other content. I've been Ashley, and I'll catch you next time.